Hello everyone, this is Mistress Nightmare here, and I have been wondering or curious because a lot of people couldn't hear or understand me well in Jeff the Killer Stay With Me, so I'm going to reread that story before I release the preview of Jeff the Killer Stay With Me, the sequel. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the reread of Jeff the Killer Stay With Me. Serious review. Come on guys, stop being such a wimp. My best friend Tara yelled at me and Sam. We all stood there in her room discussing our plans for today, or is it it's night, unleashing the plan that is I started for. So I was close up disagreeing with it completely. Sam shaking like a leaf at the plan, very, very against it. I felt bad for her, as if Tara wasn't being pantsy or being a big jerk. She was like she doesn't want to admit that Sam could just go home while you two left. But, of course, Tara always wants to drag me in. Sam began to start playing with her shoulders lightly, with her dark red hair trembling. What if there is something there? It will be a waste of time. Or if there's nothing there. Tara glared at her angrily. She was being so nervous over nothing. Well, not nothing. At least, she thought. Stop being scared, Sam. Of course there's something in there. People wouldn't hear noises or screamings and stuff if there's nothing or anything to investigate, Tara reported back at Sam. I just stood there with my arms folded inside Tara's plan. We're probably wondering if you aren't, or you don't want to know. Tara began to being the brave and courageous soul that she is, declining to help her hometown by going to an abandoned factory in the woods, where screaming had been heard and a figure that seems to be going in and out. Placing cameras around the perimeter, there's 3 16-year-old girls are going into the dark in this spooky old warehouse where something possibly dangerous is hiding inside. Yep, Tara was definitely nothing but the brightest. Oh, I'm not saying I believe either whatever's in there. I'm just saying they're using cameras for no reason. Sam looked down, not wanting to see Tara's stare of knowing would we only making her agree to it. Tara glanced harder at the other girl. Seemed that there's no way avoiding this. Tara's found especially that. She bent up, determined on doing this, if you thought about it. I walked up to Sam. I laid my hand on her shoulder. She looked at me with her green eyes glittered with worry. I gave her a reassuring smile. It's okay, Sam. There's probably nothing in there. These are just rumors, or maybe hearing, and you know how bad rumors can lie. Come on, if we hurry and put the cameras around, and then go get some ice cream or something, I said, in a calm, determined, even though I wish I could stay back at Tara's house as well. Sam thought about it in a moment, unsure of what to do, but then nodded slowly and smiled at me. She was still scared, but I always found a way to bring the brave out of her. Okay, she agreed. Tara growled, or grew a large grin and turned. Alrighty, then let's go get the cameras. With that, Sam followed her. Tara and Sam, I stood outside the large building. It had broken windows, weak walls, added the creepiness of its structure. I wonder if it was too late to head back. 3 cameras rested in my arms. One belonged to me, the other my father, and the last one belonged to my older brothers. The others held 3 cameras as well. All our eyes stared up at him, barely blinking. 3 around here, and the building, showing like it's avoiding the signs of avoiding dark buildings. It's huge, Sam whispered. Biggest eyes of all of us. I nodded, letting your reaction. Tara growled, gulped, and turned to both of us. Well, no matter how big it is, another gulp. We need to do this, to make sure there's nothing in there. She turned away, stepping towards and stood at the step of the door, and then she bent down and placed her father's camera facing the door. After saying, and then she turned back to me and Sam. Well, first camera's in place. I guess we better head in. She breathed in heavily and faced the building, setting the other 2 cameras in her arms on the ground. Opening the door, it creaked loudly. It alerted the being within the presence. She turned to both of us, speechless, and smiled and stepped inside. Sam breathed in a shaky breath and followed quickly after Tara. My dark ocean blue eyes, I traveled to the skies and the clouds, covering it like a blanket, created an early feeling in my gut that eyes were staring. Something caught my eye. I looked in the glass window in the factory. A shadow lingered in it, and I studied, or hoping to get a better look. "Serena, hurry up!" Tara yelled out at me, and I blinked and realized I was spacing out, and I looked to the front door. Coming, I called, but looked back at the window. Empty. I suddenly gasped and shook my head. I'm just paranoid. I sighed. I looked back. I ran inside after my friends. Once I got in, I saw that Sam's camera was already in the middle of the large room. All now stood in. I pointed towards the old broken restraining desk. Upon seeing in the room, I noticed there was 4 doors around me. One being in front of me, of all 3 of us entered. I turned to them and hearing Tara begin to speak. 3 doors, huh? I guess it's time to split up. You and Sam both stared in shock at her. Split up? That sounds only scarier for you 2. Split up, I said. Nothing about splitting up. Sam remarked, shaking it like earlier. Sorry, I had no idea this place was going to be big, Tara yelled back. The 2 bickered, I sighed and broke up the fight. I held my phone and reached into the bottom of the pocket. I pulled out theirs. They looked at me curiously and watched as I used Tara's phone to call both mine and Sam's phone. Handing it back to them, I decided to explain my idea. I got an idea. I just got to make us feel safer. We'll be on the phone with each other. That's why we could keep tabs of our progress, putting in the cameras around the place. Tara gave me a thoughtful look and then nodded with a smile, while Sam sighed in knowing there's no other way around splitting up plan. Good idea, Serena. That's why if we get attacked, we could call each other for help. Making sure I had a flashlight and that Tara didn't hang up on either of you, went straight away. Heading to the door to the left, Tara goes straight and Sam goes to the right. With that, I felt like an hour passed. I only had placed 1 camera. Tara had more than the place, as did Sam. I only studied on my phone, trying to keep up with the other 2 calm. It's working for Tara and Sam, but I kept getting strange feelings that I was being watched. I didn't like it. I tried to ignore it, but it's hard itself to make it harder when I heard footsteps or noises or what the matter. My heart beat loudly, making it listening to my friend's heart. Hey, Serena, can you hear me? I blinked and looked at my phone. I couldn't barely make out what Tara said, and breathing, expecting a sigh. Great. All the times I could lose signal. Now I have to lose it. Piece of shit phone, I whispered. I looked around. Only 1 door, which means I just had to walk through. And send boxes, crates, 2 inches from the barrels, more boxes resting in the next to it. That's why I was facing a desk, a chair, a laptop. The laptop sat open, a bright screen bringing only a light, a looming room besides the flashlight, which made it look dimmer. Serena, the voices of my friends disappeared as my phone signal got weaker. I sighed quickly, put the phone back in my pocket. I looked back into the entire room. My flashlight pointed of every watch or way, but I saw there was boxes, barrels, and Strangers on the floor facing a laptop. I quickly strolled over to the laptop or something. I stopped before and I looked behind me. Footsteps. I could have sworn I heard footsteps. I started to believe it was probably just my paranoia. I hesitantly turned back to the computer. I pulled out a desk chair. I sat down with a shaky breath and I froze. I came back to look at the computer. New tablets resting on the screen. I became curious. I began to read. I wonder why these pages were up. Even the computer was down here. I read out loud, not expecting anyone to hear me. Killer still on the loose. Now, 17-year-old Jeff had brutally murdered his family at 10 or more other people. Escaped West Hill Insane Asylum 2 years ago. Authorities in the ring had left him in his room with the door locked and returned the next day to find his room empty and his hoodie and black jeans sneakers were missing as well. Already 5 murders have been competing and continuing with no luck catching the psychotic killer. His picture displayed below. After reading, I scrolled down only to have my heart nearly fly out of my chest. A picture of a boy, around 13 or 14. Most likely around the time he escaped. The research underneath the article approached. His appearance spooked me. He had long black hair that only sliding to the shoulders. His dark eyes widened like narrow with no eyelids, black rings circling around his eyes, if his eyelids were burned off. His skin was bleach white, but what you got the worst of was the smile cut to his cheeks, making me guess even more when this guy frowned. It would still be a horrific smile. I couldn't help but wonder what he would look like now. Strolling down further, I continued verbally reading. He's a killer at large, holding no rumors that he will kill me if he had the chance. Keep watching, making sure closed to lock your doors and windows. He can be reported in the last few weeks. He's been in Silent Hill. My heart stopped for a moment before looking at the date of the article. It's been added on August 19th, yesterday. A killer. A killer at large. Oh, how the police flatter me. I jumped to my feet when I regularly turned around to the voice that spoke behind me. It was a teenage voice, male. It sounded rather that I have ever heard. Fumbling with my flashlight, I quickly checked the button and pointed at the direction of the voice. I felt numbness as I froze. It was the boy from the picture, but only his hair was longer, only slightly past his shoulders. He had a bit more build but still kept the skinny figure. His face grown slim, but he was gorgeous. Forget the eyes, the smile, the skin, and the blood-covered jacket. Wait, what? My dark ocean blue eyes orbs widened at the blood stain on his jacket. Then I remembered he was a murderer. My eyes went back to his face. I shook. I had never been so scared in my life. Then I was now face to face with a psychotic serial killer. Sadly, I couldn't help but shake more than I wanted to show. The boy stared at me intensely. His missing eyelids kept him from blinking, his carved smile widened, and noticing at my fear. Jeff's point of view. I watched this girl shake, admired how scared she was for me. She was, how can I put this? Cute, hot, adorable, beautiful. Either way, she was all of these above. It made my smile widen. I can sense the fear emerging off her as she shined the damn flashlight at me. I could make how she looked like perfectly. She had long, flowing silver hair, dark ocean blue eyes that sparkled even with a little amount of light. She had a tan face that didn't look to be wearing any makeup on her complexion, pale face. She was whoa. I wanted her. I wanted her to stay with me. I couldn't let this beauty like this leave and enter the damn world. No, I won't let her. Serena's point of view. I saw Jeff's smile widen. I wonder what he was planning on killing me right now. Please don't kill me, I stuttered, tears threatened to stream down my face as Jeff stared intensely, making me more and more uncomfortable. He stood there, standing straight. I began to get scared and realize learn about against the box. Stepping towards me, I noticed him walking towards me. I backed away to see it. Figured as I took one step back, I ran into the desk holding the laptop. Shaking more, I clenched my eyes and tilted my head down, avoiding the fearful gaze. Jeff stopped before me, and then I noticed a hand going down. He had a really large smile, widen slightly at this. He was close. I could feel his body heat as he lowered his head to mine. As he began cleansing his forehead against mine, his pale hand reached up and cupped my face and forcing me to lift up my head back up. My eyes were still sealed, not wanting to meet the male before me to see my fear. Open them, he commanded. I gulped down and slowly fluttered my eyes open. I gasped lightly. His face was so close to mine that his lips were just inches from meeting mine. My dark ocean blue eyes stared deeply into his. I calmed my shaking a bit and returned his head slightly and studying me. He slowly he came closer, molting grip between my lips and his. His lips or mine, whatever. Deeply, my eyes became widened. I had never had my first kiss. I never expected to lose it to a murderer. The kiss only lasted a few moments, but before he could pull away, his lips were inches from mine once more. Seeing that he could barely blink, he had watched my face turn to a shock and found it quite amusing. He pulled back a little and then rested his forehead against mine. Still staring into my ocean blue orbs, I didn't notice that he didn't have his grin, or would it held a look of shock but want. A terrified gaze saying that I was his now. What is your name? He asked, taking you a moment to answer from my surprise. Serena. Serena, he tested on his lips, then nodded. It's perfect for you. I blinked, remembered Tara and Sam, and the cameras. I jerked my head away from him to look at the 3 cameras I bought. Right next to the computer table, Jeff looked as well and glancing, facing me and back to him. Cameras. So you and your friends were curious about me. He laughed, letting me go, then walked over and grabbed one of the cameras. He began to examine it. I looked back to the computer and gulped quickly. It was already 11:49. I'd be dead if I'd be late getting home. Seeing no point in the cameras, I wonder what should I do about Jeff. I think I realized I stayed longer and who knows what he will do. I turned and bolted for the door. Jeff heard my recurring footsteps and turned and watched as I darted for the door. Quickly, dropping the camera, he chased after me. I ran and didn't look back. I knew he was following me. A piece of my mind screamed at me to go back, but I was too afraid and shocked and confused. Afraid of him, a murderer. Shocked at him kissing me out of nowhere, and confused how I felt about it. I would think about this later, but right now I need to get home. Instead, I jumped in joy in the sight of the front door, where Sam and Tara both looked at me worried sick. Upon hearing footsteps, the gaze went from the floor to me, and they suddenly smiled brightly at me and wide-eyed. Their eyes were bright, pressured outside backwards of town. Looking at the others, shrugged, and they followed me. Little do I know, once the Croatian boy watched as I ran off, my friends close behind me, jealousy filled him. Jealousy towards my friends. They were going to get in his way. He knew it. They were already leaving with me, most likely the reason why I had left the way I had. He wouldn't have it, so he pulled out his knife from his hoodie pocket and stroked its blade, and plan formed in his mind. Shoving the knife back in his pocket, he quickly ran out the front door, making sure not to lose sight of me.